So guys, we are in Salome. We'll straight away directly jump onto the geometry module. Fine. We'll make a square, apply and close. Make another square on top of it, apply and close. We'll name the first one as square 1. Done. And now we're gonna be moving the second one by a distance of around 300 units. Okay. Apply and close. You can see there is a distance between them. They are not sticking together. That's fine. Let me move it out in the middle and zoom in. Yeah. Okay, so we'll name the translated cube as square 2. Okay, that's fine. Now we're gonna be making a bounding box. Let's go with 1700 in x direction, and let's go with, I'll tell you in a moment why am I doing this. Just bear with me. Plan close. Okay, now this is going to be the external aerodynamic kind of application which we are trying to do, okay, of the meshes. So basically what we are trying to achieve here is, if I take off the box, so this, to zoom in, so the second square, what we're going to be doing is, with the help of script, we will be moving this box in the x direction. So the distance between the first and the second square, it will be changing in every mesh. So that's the example I'm gonna give you guys, just to understand how automation is gonna be taking place in this one. Okay, now quickly let's put the box back, and now I need to translate the box, the outer box. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna move it in the negative x direction by 200 units, this by minus 300, and that by minus 350. They're just random numbers, nothing in there. So let's just try and make it a bit transparent so that we can see where our squares are inside. They are perfectly suited to what we are trying to achieve. Okay, now that's how they are positioned inside. Now quickly, the next step is to cut the boxes out of the bounding box. So the main object is gonna be your translation 1, yeah, and two objects will be your square 1 and square 2. Apply and close. So see, you're getting cut 1. Now you just have your cut 1. Let's see inside. Transparency. Okay, so now this is one entity. So we are not having 3 entities here, the external box and then 2 squares inside. No, this is just one entity. Why? Because those squares, they have been cut off from the bounding box, right? So now what we need to do is, we need to put these 2 squares into separate entities. Why do we want to do that? Because we want to have full control over our squares, because that's where the mesh is going to be concentrating more, right? So you can have your anything, like for example, if you're having a wing section, or maybe a subdivision of the wing section as a tail fin or something like that, so you would want to have full control. So in order to get the control, what you need to do is put them in a group. So how do we do that? We explode this first into faces, apply and close, right? So now these things have been exploded into faces. Now we go to the new entity, make a group, create group, right? So the group will be composed of, any group that we will make will be composed of faces. So I'm gonna name first one as square 1, and we need to hide this. Select this is not subshift. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are using cut 1 as your main shape. Okay, so this has to be cut 1. For some reason I'm not able to select it. Okay, this has to be cut 1, and then you hide the selected. you'll have to click a few times before you can actually achieve what you're trying to do. I'll tell you why I'm hiding these ones. Okay, now we are here, so what I'm gonna do is rotate it a bit so that we get this view. Okay, so I'm gonna select these faces, these 6 faces, by toggling of this one, and I'll select these 6 faces, yeah, and then add them. So we have 6 faces. They'll be going to group 1 called square 1. Fine, apply. And now the same thing has to be done for the second one as well. So you again select the height selected. This has to be done quite a number of times before we can actually achieve it. Height selected again. Okay, done. Now you zoom in, and now you name this as square 2. Okay, and now you select this bit, and then you add. So another 6 faces have been added. They are representing the second square, mind you. Okay, apply and close. So you can do this grouping thing for the other faces as well, the bounding box. For example, if you're running a simulation in the aerodynamic aspect, so what you can do is you can put this this face as your inlet, this as outlet, and then walls maybe the other ones. But we are not trying to do that at the moment, so we are just trying to show how automation works. So up till here it's fine, right? So now let me just quickly save it as. Okay, I have meshing script, so study 1 underscore meshing jom. Okay, so I've now saved it. So now we'll directly go to the mesh department or mesh module and take our entities as well, our groups as well along with us. Okay, so now we have our geometry imported into the meshing module. Now what you need to do is you need to go here, create a mesh, a new mesh, and then geometry is gonna be your cut one because that's your whole entity. Remember, we just tried to group those faces of square 1 and square 2 together, but geometry is still the same. So we go to the 3D, we go to the NetGen 1D, 2D, 3D, and then we go to something called hypothesis. Now hypothesis is where you get to set your meshing sizes, right? Now I'll show you why we created these ones. Now you see, when you have your max size, so this is the maximum size which you're gonna get in your mesh, this is the minimum size, right? But when you go to the local sizes and you go to the face, and then with the control key you select square 1 and square 2, right? And again you click on face. Now the size which has been set automatically is 204, which is too large, way too large, right? So what we're gonna do is probably gonna make it as 15, right? Same for this one, 15. Okay, so let's just click apply and close, and now we're gonna compute our mesh. Okay, so the mesh computation is started. So while it is computing, I'm just gonna halt this and come back when it's about to be finished. So now we already have our mesh. So these are the number of elements. So it's a very close mesh, obviously you can see. So 41,000 something. Yeah, you close it, you want to view the mesh, then you might probably turn on the clipping plane and new relative, and then don't forget to apply on the auto apply, right? And then you will have to probably turn off your cut section so only mesh is visible, right? So these are your, let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, let's what we'll do is we'll turn off the square 1 and square 2 as well. Yeah, and now you can see this is the mesh which you are getting. Okay, all that is fine now. So we'll apply and close it. Okay, and now we try and dump this study in the Python file, and I'm gonna call it mesh underscore script 1. Okay, and now I'm gonna also call it without visual. I'll tell you in a second why. So you save it, and now I'm gonna dump the study again, and this time I'm gonna say with visual, and I'm gonna click on save GUI state. Okay, I'm saving these ones. Now we try and open those ones which we have saved. Open, and where is it? Python projects. Now we have to go to Salome mesh script, yeah, and mesh without visual. Okay, let me open this one. So this is your script. Okay, and over here we are importing the geom builder here, trying to make a new geometry, and then you do all this stuff which we have been doing, right? With the clicking, everything is recorded here, and then you go for the meshing, then you set your parameters. Remember when we set the parameter size as 15, you can see it's being reflected here. Okay, now let me quickly go to the other one as well. Open with visual, open. Now you see the size of this file is way too large, right, compared to the other one which we opened without visual. Now the main reason is why this is happening is because every visual which you have created, even by clicking or by rotating or everything, that is being recorded in this file. Okay, so we're not going to be working in this one. Obviously we'll go through it probably, right, just to let you guys know what all we can change here and what all we can play with. But at the moment I'm just going to be sticking to the without visual thing, because we are directly accessing the meshing thing, right? So we forgot to do one thing. I needed to save the file as well, the mesh file. So we'll do that and then dump the study again. But this video is getting too long, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break it here and continue with the second part right from here. And until then, take care. Thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next one.